Guten Tag, meine Freunde, Tuvalan here, and looks like we are going to be doing some Battlefield. Wow, my mind is telling me I'm in the wrong game apparently. No, we're doing Black Ops 2, and I say we because we are not alone.
Hi guys, my name is Ecksonik, but you can call me Jeff, and you could say it is a battlefield of fun in Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I guess you could say something of that nature. Then it would all
um,
make sense.
no idea why I was starting it off with Battlefield. I guess because they both start with a B. I don't know.
B and C, okay, that makes sense.
C.
Battlefield Call of Duty.
There's not a single C in Battlefield.
I'm saying, I thought you
Oh,
said they
okay.
all,
No.
yeah.
Battlefield Black Ops. Yeah, no, that just flew away over my head.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Wow, this was actually we got into the match really quickly.
Yeah, my beastly internet, son.
Also, something that I don't even want to know how that killed me. Something that I've taken from other YouTubers that I watch. Well, not necessarily YouTubers. It's there's someone that I follow on Twitch. He streams. From now on, if I have the option, I am going to set color scheme to colorblind mode, just in case someone is watching my videos is colorblind.
That's a good idea. Never thought of that. But Tommy was actually telling me something on the Rooster Teeth podcast about people getting mad over video games more than any other
Oh,
medium.
yeah, it was David Vonderhaar, someone, or
Relevant to this
yeah,
game.
David Vonderhaar.
Yeah.
Um, it's just Bernie. He was pulling out all because in the update they were showing all the changes they made. I think to the DSR, like its chamber time and its cyclic rate and all that different jazz. Like they changed it by a quarter of a second, stuff like that. Well, Bernie pulls out little transcript of like tweets and stuff. Stuff people tweeted to David Vonderhaar, literally threatening his life and saying, they wish that he had been killed in a gas chamber or something like that in World War II, stuff like that,
Which is fucked up, man.
because of this game. But you don't hear people sending death threats to Christopher Nolan because they didn't like the Batman trilogy.
Yeah, even though there are a huge amount of people that were disappointed with Rises, and that probably doesn't mean
Personally,
too much.
if you think of it, if you look at them as a trilogy, it's The Dark Knight, the second one, that does not belong. Because if you look at it, the first one is Batman, becoming Batman and being trained by Ra's al Ghul, the League of Shadows, and then spending his time trying to defend Gotham from the League of Shadows. The third one is again Batman uh, facing off against Bane, who is part of the League of Shadows. He's defending Gotham again from the League of Shadows. It's the second one that just makes no sense in the scheme of the trilogy because it has nothing to do with the League of Shadows. All it was an attempt to get, casual Batman fans enemy that they or a villain that they were well versed with.
Yeah, well, meant that was pretty shooting together there with the
But
Rises.
if you look at them separately, the second one is the most solid of the three, if you ask me,
Hmm.
individually. But yeah, if you think about it as a trilogy, the second one is the one that doesn't belong.
How I look at it is Batman Begins. I like how this turned into a Batman debate, by the way. It's very cool. I like how, well, actually, first, Batman Begins to me is like a Bruce Wayne film. We get the origin story, we get to know how he became Batman, essentially, and all of the cheesy love-hate relationship between Rachel and all that,
Yeah,
played by the awful Katie Holmes. And then Dark Knight was the Batman movie. Yeah, Batman versus Joker, classic, good, fun time. Joker being really dark and sinister the way you want him to be.
I do
And
think
then,
that Joker was a great Joker.
Yeah, I
It's
consider him to
really
be the
good.
best. I know people say Jack Nicholson and all. I think Heath
Well,
Ledger the best.
I think he pulled off because if you think about Batman Beyond, I think is the cartoon that Mark Hamill did the voice of the Joker, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And I think that, I mean, I could be misremembering because it has been a while since I last watched Batman Beyond, to
Yeah,
be
Cartoon
honest.
Network, like
Um,
10 years ago.
but those two Jokers, I think, are pretty similar if you think about it. And
Yeah,
speaking of Mark Hamill as the Joker, I mean, you know, he did the voice of the Joker in the video game.
yeah, Arkham
Yeah,
Asylum, Arkham City, yeah.
yeah. Well, he was doing an interview about the video games, and he was talking about when he did the voice in the TV series, and how he would find himself driving through, you know, Los Angeles or wherever in his car, practicing his Joker laugh while driving down the road. You
That's
know,
dedication.
and he was just like, I'm pretty sure there have probably been a few people who would look over and be like, oh, hey, there's Mark Hamill laughing maniacally.
Like Heath Ledger, like I think he locked himself into a room for I don't know, God knows what, like a week. Probably not that extreme, but he just basically became insane, and unfortunately that led to a timely death with some would say, drug abuse and blah blah blah. I don't really go deep into that, but of what he brought with the Joker, and all of his other movies too. Knight's Tale and
Did you know
Brokeback.
that apparently it's pronounced Jake Gyllenhaal, not Gyllenhaal?
Really?
Yes.
Because I read Maggie Gyllenhaal, which is funny because Maggie, there's a "g" in there, so I didn't put the two together.
No,
That's
it's
strange.
Jake Gyllenhaal. It's very
Alright.
weird.
But before I, continue with the whole Batman philosophy, in Dark Knight Rises, I think it's Bruce Wayne and Batman sort of colliding with each other. And yeah, I will agree with you. The Ra's al Ghul thing was a bit thrown together for no reason, just to shock audiences. Spoiler alert, by the way, if you haven't already tell. And then the whole Batman thing, because when he's in the cave and he's trying to escape, and then it flashes back to when he was trying to climb up the cave to, just be courageous enough to
I'm
step
still
up to the
trying to
plate.
figure out how he got from this hole in the earth in the middle of nowhere all the way back to Gotham within like a day.
That and why would you build a prison or jail where someone could get out of it? Not saying relatively easy, but why would you do that? How would you just
Yeah,
lock
yeah.
that shit in a cage? But like,
It's like,
as I was saying, like with the whole Batman thing, Bruce Wayne with the whole flashback thing, and then Batman because he does want to save the world. Bane is this crazy over the top villain. There's a freaking nuke involved, so he's trying to stop the nuke. And then at the very end, big spoilers by the way, you see the coffin with "Here lies Bruce Wayne," but when you see Michael Caine sitting in the diner, he's still there. Now there's a lot of interpretations of what that means, if it's in the butler's head, or is that really them? I think it's really them. I think it's just
what
them taking
I,
the cape off, so to say, so
what
to speak.
I'm trying to figure out is how on earth is Bruce Wayne, the most well-known billionaire in the world in this universe, is able to sit in a public place in France without anyone noticing. He's supposed to be dead.
As you keep mentioning these flaws, it does sound stupider and stupider, which is also why I agree that Dark Knight Rises is my least favorite of the trilogy. There are a lot of dumb things involved.
Also, when was he supposed to have set the autopilot at the end? He literally had
He
no
dodged the
time
bullet.
at all.
He dodged the bullet.
Well, no, it was impossible for him to have ejected from that air or from the bat in time for him to not be killed by the blast. I mean, it has a 6-mile blast radius. You're gonna tell me that far out with mere seconds left on the clock, he managed to eject and swim 6 miles before it exploded?
Right.
And he couldn't have done it close to the bridge, otherwise they would have seen him, and he couldn't have done it before he came over the building because he had to have been the one to shoot the gun to make way through the building.
And that is an awful long time. Maybe someone helped him. Maybe he got caught in the boat where maybe he knew this was supposed to happen, and then Catwoman or whatever her name was, her real name was, like
Selena.
helped him. Yeah, Selena Kyle. Like
Yeah.
maybe she helped him along. Like she knew that he would survive and do all this whole ruse, elaborate ruse of him being dead, but not really.
I am doing so bad.
Yeah, that was a cool tangent there. Talk about fucking Batman. But yeah, I do love the movies. You know, all three of them combined, one of the best trilogies I think in movie history. You know, right there with Back to the Future and original Star Wars. But as you keep mentioning, yeah, there's a lot of flaws and a lot of just dumb things that I do think they are a big deal, but it doesn't really affect the performance of the movies that much.
Speaking of Back to the Future trilogy, I have noticed because it plays so very often on Stars, HBO. I don't even think you can go a week without it playing on HBO. The thing is when it does play, it literally I have never seen it play just one of the movies. It always plays all three of them in order. Always.
That's nice, actually.
Those
movies are designed to see like all at once.
But it's just that is literally the only trilogy or series you ever see do that. I've never seen it just be like, oh hey, yeah, here's Back to the Future Part 2.
Well, sometimes when they play Star Wars, usually they'll play Star Wars 4, 5, and 6. And I like how they very rarely show 1, 2, and 3. I think that's pretty funny.
I can understand people prefer the original trilogy to the new trilogy, but I don't see why it gets bashed so much, especially Episode 1.
I think it's because the story is boring. Like Trade Federation and the characters aren't really likable. Like, yeah, Jar Jar, Anakin, blah blah blah. That's been said to death at this point. But I think that's a big reason why. And you don't have any charisma with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, even though it's Liam Neeson, and years later it become like this sort of action star in a sense. Like they have no chemistry together. And
Ewan McGregor is pretty good.
Yeah, but he was sort of a sis. I mean, not a sissy, but I don't know. He's sort of like almost a chore. Like he's just sort of there, and Qui-Gon has to watch over him until Episode 2 when he starts to grow a beard and become daddy all of a sudden with the Anakin.
I thought you were saying data, like you're trying to
like Star Trek
data.
Data.
Oh god.
Data management.
There's a VTOL warship over there.
There is. I believe so.
I hope it was someone from our team that picked it up.
I'm not sure.
The enemy did just take A, so
that is a enemy VTOL.
yes, they stole it.
I'll try to switch classes when I get the chance.
I prestiged, so I have absolutely not a single class that can take that out.
Yeah, we're both 5th prestige, which means we have no lives, and yeah. We don't have much of anything. Oh, he's going all at it. What the hell? Alright, I'll check that out.
Yeah, just because you got a VTOL warship in the air doesn't mean you're safe.
Okay, I can't lock on to him for whatever reason. There we go.
What are you using?
The Stinger.
Ah.
And it takes like 3 shots. Go ahead, kill me. There you go. Alright. Yeah,
Well,
of course.
out of the air.
Just flies away. This isn't trying to kill it.
Of course.
That's how the game works.
What do you expect? That you'd be able to shoot it out of the sky, get points for it? Be a team player?
Yeah, but back to that David Bonhoeffer thing, Like that is just. I feel really bad for him. And there's also another recent event with Phil Fish. You ever heard about that story about Fez
Uh-uh.
2? There's this developer named Phil Fish, and him and another guy worked on this game called Fez.
Oh, wait,
Critically,
yeah, I have heard
yeah,
about that.
critically acclaimed. A little indie game. Had a lot of backlash with the indie game, the movie, where Phil Fish basically became this sort of douchebag, and he says a lot of mean stuff to other game developers and doesn't really respect people the way they
Yeah,
should be. So he's been getting a lot of hate for that, not just for that, but also just some of the tweets he says. A lot of mean stuff in general.
yeah.
Like in one press conference, I don't know if it was E3 or not or whatever it was. He answered this question of this Japanese guy, and of course, English is his native tongue, so it's kind of hard to tell what he's saying. And then basically what he says was he's very appreciative of American games and what are his thoughts on Japanese games. And basically he says he thinks they suck and they have terrible stories and blah 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 blah. Just a lot of douchey answers. And anyway, back to my point. He's gotten a lot of hate mail, so he quit Twitter, and he was working on Fez 2, but he's canceled it just because of him being butthurt over things people are saying over him at Twitter, which I guess is sort of ironic because they're saying mean things to a guy that says mean things, and he decides to rage quit essentially for Fez 2. But that is still a bummer
Yeah.
for people who were looking forward to that. But I think it'll still happen.
What was but apparently David Vonderhaar, I mean, yeah, these are horrible things that are being said to him. I mean, they are. But he understands that it's the internet. People are retarded on the internet.
Yeah.
So he takes everything everyone says with a grain of salt. I mean, obviously, if someone has legitimate criticism, he's gonna listen to it.